right, welcome to our project today. This project is a little bit different than some of the other projects that you've seen us work on. This is an elevator, but it's kind of an odd application. It's got a little different application in the way that typically an elevator will go between floors. A lot of times they're interior applications, so every floor has an application that leads us to use it inside the house. It may come down to a ground floor. In our area, most of the houses are in a floodplain, and it'll come down to a ground area, but the elevator won't sit there. It'll home back out to one of the floors above flood. This application is a little bit different in that this elevator actually opens to the exterior of the house. It actually has an exterior door. It's what we call a two-sided car. It's got a door on the open side to the street here, and then it also has a door that leads up onto a step at the kitchen level, and then it has another door that's a full interior door that leads onto the second floor at the master suite. So I'm going to step inside and I'll meet you upstairs. Well, welcome to the elevator project that we've been working on for the past few weeks. Basically, in a nutshell, what these folks needed is they needed access for an elderly parent to be able to get from the street level up to not just the first floor, but to the second floor too. And obviously, when you put in an elevator, it's a fairly decent cost, and you don't want to just have it be something that you put in and it maybe goes up 20 inches, because that, believe it or not, from the street level to the first floor, it's probably about 25, 26 inches, something like that. So they actually put in a car that would also service the second floor as well, which made a lot of sense. As you can see, if we step in the car here, what we've got is this elevator is a hydraulic elevator, as opposed to typically what we've put in the past is cable. The great part about this is this used to be the exterior wall, and there was a window, that window, on this wall. Well, obviously the ARB here in this development, they want to make sure that they maintain the same look, even though we pushed this wall out about 5 feet. So we just took this window and we just moved this window out to the outside of this wall, and that way we didn't really lose the aesthetics of the house too much, but we did gain this really useful space that we otherwise wouldn't have had. So what we have here is we have this pre-finished elevator car, and it is hydraulic. Other details other than that I probably couldn't really give you, but it does have what they call Lexan. Lexan is a higher grade of plexiglass, and it's less resistant, or I should say more resistant to scratches and things like that. Has one of these on both sides. Obviously you can open up to the windows. Now code requires us to make those windows fixed, so those windows actually don't crank open now. Both of those jambs, the sashes are actually fixed to the jambs. But obviously down at the first floor, that is the access side that you'd enter and exit through. The lights come on and turn off by themselves as you press for whatever floor you're going to. And then you can see this is a 20-minute fire rated door. This door we have to have because of this shaft, and the code also requires it. So that is that's our elevator shaft right there, and our car. You can see what we did was we matched the hardwood floor. It's actually a Brazilian cherry floor, and we matched it to the downstairs floor that runs through the kitchen and the living room, great room, dining room, things like that. Just trying to create some continuity. Now we've got a few things that have to be finished up here, but what you can see is when you want to call the elevator, now the elevator typically sits up on this floor, and but if the elevator was on another floor, you'd simply press the call button, and that light that goes around the call button here would turn on until it reached this floor. Now obviously it's on this floor, and you can hear the lock unlock. These doors stay locked until you press the button, and it only takes a few seconds. The lock will engage, and then you can't just open the door. You actually have to press it there. There it goes, right there. Now what we've got here is we've got this short sill right here, and this allows for, let's say you had somebody in a wheelchair, you could move them in and out of here with very little bumping. This would give them good access in and out of the car, so that's why we chose to use a real low profile sill. And then you can see, now this was a window, and we've got our painter's coming in next. He's got a lot of work to do here to touch up all this drywall work that got damaged when they removed some of the trim around the window, and that can happen sometimes. We also we're going to replace this trim because this trim didn't exactly match the original. You can see the original was a very wide trim. This trim wasn't quite as wide. The profile's the same, but it just doesn't span the same distance. So we've got another trim on order that we're going to replace it with. And then we've got these plinth blocks down here at the bottom. Those plinth blocks are going to stay, but we've got to mill them so they're actually wider, and they match the original plinth blocks that are used on this cased opening here. Baseboard we were able to just return to its original place, and obviously we just cut it to allow for the door. And then at the top we filled the crown back in. That was taken off for the project. And so now we're really down to the painter and the carpet guy. And the carpet guy's got to come in and he's got to stretch all this carpet back out. This carpet, when we started the demo, we actually just rolled this carpet back into the master bedroom, and that gave us access, and we were able to close this area and this opening here off and keep the dust contained. So we weren't having to go back and clean everything totally. That's pretty much it at the second floor. There was a couple other things we did up here. I'm going to step on this way and we'll show you. This house is several years old and has some new owners now. And they had some issues. We had some issues with a little bit of rot up here. So what we did is we didn't want to remove these entire panels because the whole hurricane panel system is in here. So we left those in place, and what we've done is we've just fitted a new treated material at the bottom. This was a 5/4 trim, and so we've just matched that at the bottom, and that's all glued and screwed in. And now that can be allowed to dry. We sand it down a little bit, and then the painter can touch it up. That was pretty much the issues that we had up here. Everything else seemed to be in good shape. Now we're inside the car. We're actually going to take a trip down to the middle stop. It's only about 25, 26 inches above the floor, the stop at the street, but it still is considered to be stop number 2. This is what we call the kitchen level. And you can see the space in between. Now we'll stop this for a second. I want to show you. Now the code for elevators in our area calls for there to be no more than 5 inches from the inside of the door to this space right here, the closest spot of the elevator curtain door. And then we can't have more than 1.5 inches, and we can't have less than 1/2 inch of space from the trim. So you see what we've done is we've used a 1/4 inch trim on top of, this is actually a treated T111. And then we've got these walls are actually 4 9/16 jambs, so they keep that distance within code for us. Now hopefully we didn't get stuck on this floor. We'll see in just a second. Let's see if this works out. I feel pretty good about this right now. All right, here we are. Now these doors down here are 8-foot doors. And you can hear that when it stops, you hear that little click. And that is the actual door lock disengaging. Now we can open up, and here's our kitchen level, or first floor level. And what we've got here is, right now we've got a temporary door on here. The doors were a long lead time, they were about a 6-week lead time, and we wanted doors that matched this kitchen door here. So these doors are being built for us right now, and these doors are the temporary, even though they're a solid fire-rated door, they're just the temporary doors that go on here. And then you can see, because of the exterior application of this elevator, we've got a key deadbolt on here and a key deadbolt on the full outside door. Now upstairs, in theory, if both of these are latched and you ride the elevator down, you would latch both of these, and then upstairs you obviously don't need any more than just the elevator door lock. So this is the actual lock unit, and when this door is the glass unit, at this level you're actually going to see inside the hole. So it needed to be a fairly nice looking elevator shaft in there. You're going to see the hydraulic lift unit and everything. But it should be a pretty nice looking setup in there when all's said and done. From time to time, what you'll see is they'll actually put a baffle in here. But I don't think that's really gonna, it's not really gonna work in this situation because of, we've got both sides of the car being open. So we need that, no matter what you do, if you put a baffle to here and then you ride the car down to the street level, now you're going to have, the car's going to be down in here. Now you're going to see more. So I think the baffle situation just isn't going to, it's not really going to apply in this case. And it's a pretty good looking setup, very clean. The elevator installation guy did a great job. He's got a great crew that did a really nice job. So this is what you see here. And then from there, you see what we've got is we've got some of this slate down here that needs still be filled in there, and what that'll create is a pretty much just a flush application where even if you got a wheelchair or a walker with rollers on it or something like that, you can roll right into that elevator with very little obstruction at all. That's the elevator as we see it right now. Stucco's done. They just have to finish caulking it in. Painter's got to get in here and do his thing, and we'll call for a final inspection. That's it from here.